I feel that in many Japanese companies, the big problem is that customer is king, which is good, but there is a different level of making the customer king. There is one way, and I think that in Japan that happens too much, that the customer is king. That means we follow whatever the customer wants, whatever the customer tells us they want, right? But the customer also has short-term interest and long-term interest, and we are not interested in their long-term interest. We're only interested in satisfying their short-term interest. Of course, as a good supplier, you will always focus on actually acting in the best interest of your customer. But that means that you need to remind your customer what their long-term interests are. And actually then sometimes say no to what they're requesting, because they will spend their budget on something they want immediately, but that doesn't gratify their long-term interest. That doesn't satisfy their long-term interest.
This is my experience for more than 30 years. My experience is middle management decision is many cases wrong, very short-sighted. And whenever got problem, I need to talk with top executives.
Right.
They're going to write answers. Usually they're going to give us right answers. But our managers is not kind of level. So we talk with middle class general managers. So wrong decision making, spend a lot of money toward the wrong direction.
Right.
So sort of things happen many times. So in the case of that kind of decision making, especially with scope, you need to ask for your senior person, your company boss, and whether this direction is right or not. This is a very important issue. Sort of things I experience.
But it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. Actually.
Most suppliers that just follow whatever middle managers ask.
Exactly. So this is cause a lot of
inefficiency,
just told
waste.
Me wrong direction. They're going to spend losing money. Right. Sort of things I want to teach younger people. But they don't understand. Human resource people never understand. They try to focus more smart way.
Focus.
Right? This kind of smart way never exists. Just we are kind of sort of pitfall. We have a lot of pitfall, okay? And tricks, and we need to be careful to go moving forward. What the right direction we should go. But this is very similar to battle.
Right. So there is a lot of tactics involved that we are blind to. What is surprising, like if you look at how inefficient and customer oriented the system really is, not strategic, short term oriented, then it's surprising how incredibly successful this model has been. That's really surprising, looking from the inside now.
So my, so that I try to consider my school program, and Saturday is very well matured now. So I try to, just like you told me, 8 hours too long. Everybody says that, but
I can understand that 8 hours is important for a supplier, but the consumer, they can't put aside 8 hours of their time. They will not. Even though they would like to join, they cannot make that investment because they work hard during the week. They have commitment to their family. They have work on Saturday or other commitments. So they feel like it would be interesting. Takedo.
So I just some internet site. They are advertising like seminars, training, like my company. I submit the training course on morning and early afternoon, late afternoon, 3 sessions. But if you consider, there is somebody interested in the multicultural, she want to attend 1 to 3. Just 1 to 3, she will come here.
Right. I mean, I think it would be a different setup. Like,
are she satisfied?
Well, okay. Well, if that is if we can get people here, so the main point is that you need customers as quickly as possible, right? So money is important. So if that is going to be the case, we need to change the setup of the program. In that case we need to satisfy their objectives. That means that we need to teach, not discuss. We need to teach. We need to prepare carefully, make a presentation, give the presentation, give them the contents, the takeaway, and then that's it.
Oh, I said, Clyde, recently you are at this session. You don't preparation, right?
Right.
You just watch YouTube and you can explain that the content with YouTube. But many cases you don't understand detail or everything about because of English skill. So like I told you, Bill Clinton and Obamacare and sort of these things. Is this a student will going to be frustrating? He told me. Okay, like beforehand, I prepared a lot of material in the course in English. I had 2 staffs there and prepared every time 30, 40 pages for English material for 2 hours. But not now, It's.
But so look at it from the user, from the student perspective. Like I had the same problem in my work, so I would really like to do something to change the department. So I identified the training needs and I started to give training. But people cannot take away more than 2 hours of their work. That's it. I mean, that's what they are giving me. So I need to work with that. So I designed 3 trainings to give them. It's 6 hours in total. I don't think it's enough, but this is what I got. So that's what I need to work with. I think that's basically what everybody has. That's that choice. So if that's what it is, if we need to make money, then that's what it is. So 2 hours or 2 hours, then 2 hours they eat.
But I think like every week, like if you're going to Saturday afternoon, 2 hour session and 2 hour session, early afternoon, late afternoon. It's almost impossible to prepare material for that every week.
It's not easy. I mean, certainly for me at the moment, I do not have time to do it, but I hope it will be a little bit more relaxed.
Like Saturday morning we have material building up for the next 6 months. So
but you have enough material to give workshops for another 10 years.
Yeah.
You already have material.
Yeah. But for example, multicultural is I didn't prepare any written book based upon you did a lot of training in the past several years. Just like he's coming. Okay, Takashi.
Your same booth. Are you in the same? Is this your regular booth?
In Hanoi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanoi, right? You are in Hanoi.
Yeah, airport lounge.
Hanoi Airport. What time your flight?
4 p.m.
4 p.m. means.
In Japan time or?
No.
Local time.
What you mean? It means 6 p.m. He can join remaining hours. By the way, today I just discussed with Ed about Japanese and Westerners, the cultural differences. And Japanese people, they never studied about what we did in World War II. And we cannot speak at any Nachi-Masaka comfort woman for discuss with foreigners in any company, right? They prohibit to discuss because they cannot make controversial issues. They cannot make discussion about kind of issues. I discussed with him. And actually he's currently working with foreign consulting company, and he's same environment he has. And Japanese people don't like kind of debate or don't like make discussion with foreigners. So, but if we're going to try to do that, this Japanese we're going to be isolating. And I explained for Nissan case, Nissan president approval for Mr. Gon's salary. and just kind of irritating, frustrating, annoyingly accumulating for several years. Finally, Nissan top executive Bitley gone, right? Because accumulating frustration. So Japanese is every kind of very similar way. And okay, just for discussion, I agree, I accept you, but even if they, in their mind they do not agree with him, but he said just superficially, I agree with you. Accumulating, Japanese is always like that. So, but this is not good. I think we need to consider how to doing well with overseas people. And I don't think about all Japanese ordinary people get familiar with Westerners, but I think some certain amount of people need to understand to get insight for their team or in group to communicate with overseas people. This is my intention to try to do that. But this kind of sort of thing is very difficult to persuade Japanese company who gives them training. They don't understand that kind of requirement. So he understands, okay, Edo understands, but very difficult to persuade Japanese company. This is I just discussed for the past 1 hour.
So yeah, actually,
So what it's saying is coming in detail inside of the foreign company station in Japan, right? Your client is mainly Japanese working for foreign company.
That's correct. That's correct. They're
So-
mostly Japanese, and but the company is a global company. But still, I mean, it's a global company. But for some reason, actually, this company has divided the world in APAC, Europe, United States, South America. But Japan is a separate entity. So far, it has been a separate entity. So it's APAC and Japan. Japan has been separated. So now they need to start.
Oh, Japan is just Japan is Japan.
Japan is Japan.
Oh.
And Japan is separated, actually.
It's separated from APAC.
APAC?
From APAC, yeah, from Asia Pacific.
Oh.
So we have Asia Pacific and we have Japan.
Okay.
So, but
So how
actually,
how
from
about Korea? How about
APAC.
office in Korea?
APAC, Hong Kong, Korea, Singapore, everything is APAC, except Japan.
Oh.
But you were, APAC side, you are APAC side, but normal Japanese is out of APAC.
Mm.
I was, when I had money, I joined the ASEAN people and senior people, and every other month I just meet, as you know, I meet with them, but not now. But I'm APAC side. But kind of APAC side people I try to train for Japanese people. But Japanese people, they are not recognized kind of requirement. They should study what they're going to be. They do not. They are not. They don't feel any warnings about those kind of training. They are more skillful for the English speaking. They are skillful for doing business. But this is they believe in the morning I teach you the usefulness of useless, right? The usefulness of useless. Sort of useless. This is not actually not useless. I taught this morning.
The useless of useless?
Yes.
What?
Useless means that this kind of multicultural issues look like useless, but this is the most important thing we need to study. This is
Useful.
The usefulness of uselessness.
Yes, yes, that is a former Chan Tzu, 2,500 years ago. He just taught us.
Mm.
But this is the most important issue we need to reconsider as a kind of sort of things. So this is I discussed this morning.
It's actually there is a little bit on a side note, but I read an article this week where somebody researched that this field about how we process information, and it was found that if you take time every day, while you're working, just take a 2-3 minute break every 2 hours. Just do nothing. Just look out of the window or drink a cup of coffee and just don't think of anything. You are much better at absorbing information and processing everything that happened. If you don't stop, if you don't put in some useless time in your daily routine,
Really?
you're not very effective in actually accumulating everything that happens. So taking some time off and really just thinking nothing will make you much more effective in actually learning, in processing everything and becoming more aware of what is happening around you.
This is what he said. He is every other 2 hours.
What is it been discussed? Where is it being discussed?
I think it was at English University. It was a paper that appeared, and it was about actually the usefulness of taking some useless time, just doing nothing, just thinking nothing, if you're very busy during the day, the advice was to every 2 hours just take 2-3 minutes and just do nothing. Just get a cup of coffee and just look out of the window and just do nothing, even though you're very busy.
Okay, so you get it from some article.
Yes. It was like Cambridge University or something. They published this paper.
But I tell you, Takashi, okay, every other 2 hours I just take a rest 5 minutes. What I'm going to do, I don't think anything at all. Just only spending 5 minutes doing nothing, no thinking anything. Very risky. You're going to think like I just this morning I told you, universal spirit and wider mind, or what they say. This is do you have deep insight? Do you observe more wider perspective, scope, and so forth? Is what I'm doing in accurate way? The direction that this morning I told you, what I'm doing in the right direction that I'm going to, or not wrong doing, is kind of mindset. If you have, maybe this is supposed to be valuable, but if you don't kind of intention, just 5 minutes break, that's only 5 minutes break. Right?
It is actually, it's kind of a reset, right? So once you really if you're very focused and concentrated, you're actually zooming in. But what's very important is that you don't lose your context, right? So the bigger picture. So actually just getting out of it means that you need to refocus, and then you become aware of, oh, wait a minute, actually what's happening around me.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But now there is some kind of like scientific proof for this.
Yeah, take distance, right? Just current your position. Get inside, or you need to leave from getting inside situation to take a distance. Then consider for what they're doing actually right doing or not. This is valuable. I agree with that. Just like all the Chinese people thinking approach the same.
So actually, Uno-san was mentioning about the effectiveness of becoming a global person, right, and developing the skills of debate. Now this week I was standing at the other side of the spectrum. I had to give a presentation for a group of Japanese managers, and I was thinking, okay, so how explicit can I give my opinion? Should I give it carefully, or should I give a persuasive argument? Because I was worried that if I would give a very persuasive argumentation, then since Japan is not a debate culture, people they just draw their own conclusion, right? So they don't tell me, I don't agree with you because this and this and that, but they make that conclusion inside of their head, and then their action will be based on that conclusion. So if I'm very persuasive, if I'm very proactive and give my opinion, then I have the big risk of alienating my Japanese audience. So also for a Westerner, from a Western mindset, having to engage with Japanese people, I realized that it's not only Japanese people who need to learn the international standards. It's also Westerners that need to learn and realize that if you really don't want to alienate, if you really don't want to throw in your own glasses, then you really need to adjust your communication approach to the Japanese standards. Otherwise, you will lose them.
So what did you do for them?
I did it my own way, so I was I was being very persuasive. しょうがないな。but I actually so actually I should be more honest, because I actually more realized later on that I thought, oh, actually, what did I do? I should have been less persuasive. So I realized actually a little bit too late that maybe I should have been a little bit more.
You mean the compromising?
So I just gave a presentation the way that I would always give it. So I had something to share, and I tried to make a presentation that was very to the point and just laid out the points that I wanted to make. But then I got some resistance especially from one member at the audience, and I thought, that was maybe not so smart to be too persuasive. So I should have been a little bit more careful, not giving 100% opinion, giving them some time to make or some space to make a compromise. So.
But easy to, it's the way easily to lose your point, right?
Right, exactly. So I didn't want to water down my opinion, and I really wanted to propose a case, but because in Western country you would get a counter proposal, you would get a counter opinion, and then you would realize, okay, we don't agree. So how can we why is my idea better than your idea? And then we would basically argue a little bit, and then hopefully come to a better approach. But that doesn't happen in Japan. So there would never be.
It doesn't happen in Japan.
So it's yes or no. Yeah. Oh shit! But I already my proposal was a little bit maybe too a little bit too. But okay, it was okay in the end because I got yes, but 危なかった。
For example, he's going to prepare the negotiation skill for 2 hours. I think 1 or 2 pages is good enough. But he's going to make presentation for Japanese audience. He needs to prepare 20 pages.